Yo, what's happening everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk of Elite Wages. I am your host, Elite Wages, and this week we're going to be doing something different. Obviously there's no Premier League, we're in international break for the football. Baseball has just started, but we're not going to touch sort of fantasy side of that just yet. So we're going to go back into Formula 1. So we've done obviously a few episodes of Formula 1 already. There's been 2 races of the season so far. I did the pre-season preview as well with the season-long fantasy game, but this week we're going to be focusing on the next race, which is in Japan. And I'm going to go straight into it. You know, from the first 2 races of the season so far, there's obviously been huge dominance from Mercedes. With that being said, closely just behind them is Ferrari, so I think it's going to be a similar case in this week's race. But looking back to Australia, George Russell first, Antonelli second, and Charles Leclerc third, Lewis Hamilton fourth actually as well. So 2 Mercedes in the top 2, and then 2 Ferraris in 3 and 4. And then obviously again you look at China, Antonelli first, Russell second, Hamilton third, Leclerc fourth. So again 2 Mercedes first, and then 2 Ferraris third and fourth. So there's a clear dominance from Mercedes this year. Antonelli getting the fastest lap in the last race as well, and then obviously Ferrari being closely in second with the 3rd and 4th places. A few interesting names in the top 10 last week as well. Ollie Behrman 5th, Gasly 6th, Liam Lawson 7th, Hadjar 8th, Carlos Sainz 9th, and Colapinto in 10th. And then obviously again back into Australia, Lando Norris, Verstappen with 5th and 6th, Behrman again in 7th, Gasly in the top 10 again as well. So there's a few names that are popping up in the same, in the top sort of in the top 10, especially the top 4 is similar. So I think we're going to go for a similar tactic this week, where I'm probably going to be looking towards the same drivers again. Obviously you've got the more expensive ones, which are those top 4 drivers as I was mentioning, the 2 Mercedes and 2 Ferrari drivers. So George Russell and Kimi Antonelli 30 and 29 million, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton 27 and 26 million. So I think it's pretty reasonable to be able to get at least 2 of those. I'm going to do a few lineups for qualifying and for the race. I'm going to use the same lineup for both qualifying and race. It's been a case of whoever starts on pole position, they tend to win the race. That's how it's been for the first 2 races so far. Pole position, and whoever came second in qualifying finished first and second as well. So I'm going to go for at least 1 Mercedes and at least 1 Ferrari. So I'm going to try and mix it up. So one lineup, I'm going to go for Kimi Antonelli. I'm going to place him as captain. Obviously a very, very good young driver, got his first win last weekend. I think he's got a clear edge against a lot of these drivers. His car is extremely fast. His only rival is sort of George Russell. So Kimi Antonelli for captain, and then I am going to go for Hamilton as well. Obviously he got the podium last week, 4th in week 1 as well. He's sort of looking more comfortable in his Ferrari in practices and things like that. He's looking in the top 3 there. Again, this is a race that Lewis likes, a track that Lewis likes, so I think we're going to see him pushing for another podium this week. Isaac Hadjar is another one, 21 million. I'm going to pick him over his teammate. Hadjar had a DNF in the first race in Australia, but then he did bounce back in China. He managed to get Red Bull's only points in that race as he came 8th. Again, he's another driver I really like from last season. He's got the promotion into Red Bull to be Max Verstappen's number 2 driver, and I think he can sort of progress with this team and get them some solid points every week. And then Liam Lawson, the person that was in this seat last year, finished 7th in China. Australia, he was outside the points in 13th. He got outraced by his rookie driver, his teammate. But again, solid points for Liam Lawson. I expect him to be the main points getter for Red Bull Racing. Not Red Bull Racing, Racing Bulls. And I think he can push for another top 10 finish as well. So far we picked four drivers that can push for podiums and for points. But obviously with that budget sort of slowly coming down, you've got a 29 million, a 26 million, 21 million, a 14.5 million. For the constructor, I'm going to go over and pick on Mercedes again, obviously 1-2 in back-to-back races with the fastest lap as well. Very good at fast pit stops too, so I'm going to go for Mercedes in this one, and that leaves us with 8.5 million. And with that, we get to pick, out of the 2 Williams, the 2 Aston Martins and the 2 Cadillac. And if you look at, Checo Perez in the first couple of weeks, he's not sort of had the best time, if you like, but he has managed to get some solid, good 14 points for his team. But I'm going to go for Williams. I think Williams can push to be a top 5 team again this year, so I'm going to go for Alex Albon over Carlos Sainz in this one, just to sort of fit the budget. So for lineup 1, Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton, Isaac Hadjar, Liam Lawson, Albon and Mercedes. And that'll take up all your budget for this week. And then for my lineup number 2, let me just go over and click on that one. There we go, I've got my second lineup. So my second lineup is going to be a little bit different. As I said, it's pretty easy to pick, at least 2 of those top 4 drivers in Mercedes and Ferrari. For my second lineup, I'm going to take a bit of a gamble. I'm going to go for both Mercedes. So I've gone for George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. So that takes up 59 million of your budget. That's almost, well, that is actually over half the budget. I've gone for Russell captain. Obviously, he's Mercedes driver number 1. He got a win in week 1 and a second place in week 2. I think he can push on again. This is obviously another track he's raced on a lot more than Kimi Antonelli. He should be able to put that experience and his fast car on the top 2. On the front row of qualifying, and again, as I said before, whoever tends to qualify pole does tend to win the race. So I think it's going to be one of these 2 cars regardless. I think it's going to be another 1-2. Then I'm going to go for Ollie Behrman, and as I said, Ollie Behrman has had a couple of good races. So Australia, he finished in 7th place for Haas, which is obviously a very, very good result for them. And again, he finished in 5th last week. So he's got 17 points so far this year. And he's put Haas into the top 4, accounting for all of the points for Haas so far. So again, he's in his sophomore year, if you like. So he's in his second year in Formula 1, but he has had a very, very good start to the season. He was good towards the end of last season too. And again, I think he can be a top points getter for this team throughout the season, especially early on in the season as well. I think Haas has sort of put all their eggs in his basket, and he can push on for another top 10 this week. And again, I'm going for Liam Lawson again. Around that 14 sort of million budget, there isn't anyone else I'd sort of like. Maybe Hulkenberg, Bortoletto has had a good one, and Colapinto as well has had a good start to the season. But Liam Lawson has done better than all 4. And again, he's the driver number 1, so he's going to get the good end of the bargain, if you like, for this team. He's going to get the favourable decisions. And I just think he's a really, really good driver with a chip on his shoulder, trying to get back into Red Bull. So Liam Lawson at 14.5 million. And again, the budget comes down a little bit. So I'm actually going to go for the constructor, and I'm going to go for Ferrari for the constructor. Obviously, I picked Mercedes for 2 drivers, which means I can't pick them for constructors as well. But again, there's no one sort of coming close to this top, the top 2. Mercedes have 98 points so far in the first 2 weeks. Ferrari have 67, and then McLaren have 18. So there's a huge gap in between Mercedes, Ferrari, and then the rest of the field. So I'm going to go for Mercedes, and then I'm going to go for the 2 Mercedes drivers, and then the Ferrari for the constructor. And then that leaves me with 8.5 million again. And as I said before, you can sort of pick any of the Audi, the Cadillac, the Williams drivers, Aston Martin drivers. But for me, I think the most confidence I have in any of those is going to be in the Williams drivers. With me picking Albon in the first lineup, I'm going to go for Carlos Sainz in this one, and he's 8.5 million as well. So George Russell, captain, Antonelli, Ollie Behrman, Liam Lawson, Carlos Sainz, and then Ferrari. That will account for 2 teams that I'm doing. Obviously with a mixture in strategies. The McLaren haven't done anything for me yet. They haven't made me want to pick them in any lineups. Obviously, Lando Norris is, their top points getter so far. They both have had a DNS in China last week, and then obviously Lando Norris getting 5th place with Oscar Piastri having another DNS in week 1. So they haven't done anything as a team to make me want to jump on them. Same for Red Bull and Verstappen. Obviously, Verstappen's a very, very good driver. He can't be ruled out. He got 6th place in week 1, and then another DNF in China last week. So there's confidence in other teams at the moment that I'm going for, until they can prove me otherwise. So for me, it's going to be a Mercedes and a Ferrari battle. Mercedes coming out on top, Ferrari coming second as has been so far this season. So there's 2 of my sort of lineups for Formula Fantasy this week. Remember to get over to Fan Team, get involved in these 2 competitions. You've got qualifying competition and then obviously the race day competition. I'm going to be using the same lineup for both competitions. As I said before, they tend to, wherever they tend to qualify, that's where they tend to finish in that race. So it's been a short one, but hopefully I was able to give you some good insights on my thought process going into this week's fantasy contest, and hopefully I've been able to give you some good guidance on how to select your lineup for fantasy this week as well. Don't forget to head over to my Twitter at Elite Wages. MLB has just started, so I'm heavily on baseball, so I'll be posting daily picks on baseball over on YouTube and Spotify as well. So drop me a like, a follow, share, subscribe, everything on all socials. And yeah, I'm gonna head out, lock in, let's get it, and I'll catch you later.